So anyway, that leaves us with all this pile of boxes. It's all books, mostly history, because that's part of me work. And I know you wouldn't believe it, but you know, this model making is my switch your brain off time. And yeah, carrying boxes of books are heavy, and my lovely wife said, "You can do it." And it's like, now we're nearly 20 years older than when we last moved, so things aren't what they used to be. So each box has got some books and some models, because the models are lighter. See? Clever. But it looks like I'm big and tough and strong. There you go. What are we doing today? Well, we are doing part of the moving house project and part of the moving workshop project, and I'm going to have a far more efficient, thorough, clean, hygienic and safe workshop than the previous rat infested hellhole. So I've built 2 of these sets of racking with all kinds of junk. I've been saving boxes. Sadly they're empty. We might see something. That's not. That's got all kinds of junk in it, and I'm in the middle of making that one. So I digress. They're not empty, they're full of bits and pieces, like nuts and screws and things. It's a good thing, good way to keep stuff. Anyway, so here are 2 of these shelving units, and I'm going to build a 3rd. Who knows, they're really good. I may build more in the future, but for the minute, that's what we're going to have. Then down this side, things like board, wood, canvases, picture frames, that kind of thing. Over here, lots of boxes, predominantly books. I've said it before. Books and models, and World War I books. LPs. LPs. CDs. Books. Fiction. I've heard about fiction books. Somebody told me about them once. Yeah. And thin it all out. But what we're doing today is shelving units, and they're good fun. You used to get shelving units like this previously. They had circular holes and you put nuts and bolts through. Took a long time. This takes 1 hour almost exactly to build. So I've done 2 already, final one. These are the kind of parts you get, and you just slot bits in. So these are punched. I suppose they're not, they're probably pressed slots. You can see through. And you just, that was noisy. You just take one of these and slot them in. If they don't slide, obviously do it on the floor or something, on a workbench, but there you go. Really easy to do. And despite the fact that the instructions show 2 lovely characters building it, I have done it on my own. I wouldn't advise anybody else to do anything I do, or you'll end up in the state I'm in. Let that be a warning to you. The first piece is to stick a foot on each leg. The legs come in 2 parts. They are joined in the middle, naturally, there's the join, with a clip. There's the clip, and that's great. Wonderfully, the company supplies you with twice as many feet as you would think you might need. For those who don't use logic, that's 8 feet. So that obviously gives you enough to actually not combine these elements. I've lost it. There. But to have them as 2 separate low shelving units. For those who don't use logic, that would be half. A lot of people don't use logic these days. A lot of people didn't use logic in the past. Where did that get them? I am not using logic at the moment because I've got the camera the wrong way up. Enjoy this. One of those Sunday mornings. So, what am I on about? The point being, this is the only part of the process which has some element of failure in it, because they rarely fit. I've got about half of them to fit, which is handy that you get twice as many in that case. So if you are building the high version, you get 4 spares and you need them. So here we have the first level. The instructions, which are on the floor over there, the small to the left, small white rectangle. The instructions say build a whole end frame first. So that'll be the whole of this end. And then build the other end. I think that's great first time round, but as I can work up against this one and match shelves to it and so on, I'm doing it this way. It's very quick. You don't need that extra person. So this is how we're going at the moment. Just to show you on the inside. Light's not good, obviously. Now I'm in the way. There we are. You can probably see the slots going in, or the tabs going into the slots. The shelves themselves are, this is 2 side by side, thin MDF. There is a concern, obviously, that they could get damp or go mouldy. So I've got a nice big tin of yacht varnish. I'm not going to do that yet, because I need to create space. So once everything's settled, I can take things off, pop these out and do them one by one, carefully and properly, not in a rush. But they are a bit flimsy and they do wobble or bow. I mean, that's me, don't know if you can see it. I'm bowing it with just one hand. So you get strengtheners, and they look like that, and you bend the tab and then you run it into slots on the inside, and you get 2 per shelf, and it seems to work all right. It's good, coming up very quickly. So here we have one shelf unit in, or one shelf in, and the supports or strengtheners for the other. Don't worry, I'll clear the floor up later. I've got timing issues as usual, so I'm trying not to rush it. It's just, you can't win, can you? There it is. And I'm sure you're thinking, what, you're leaving that MDF for a year? It could go mouldy in that time. That was a generalisation. I realised I was being a bit too, specific. I will come back to these as soon as possible, and it won't be a year. You might not need a friend. Well, depends how you define friend. You will need one of those, and I class that as a very good friend. So we move on to putting the next sheet of MDF on, and then building the upper layer. So we'll get round to connectors in a minute. So there's one of the connectors, and there's a connector in. Shame the background's so chaotic, but I'm sure you understand. I am not doing this as a living, am I? So there we go. And a little tap. And we're done. Got the other 2 somewhere. This is junk over here, most of this is going out. I need the space. I'm looking forward to it. And then we get one of these. And it basically just sits like that. So not only can you do it on your own, you can do it one-handed, left-handed, when you're a right-handed person. I think that's pretty good. Nice bit of forward planning and design work. Let's get hammering. There we have it. So just repeat the lower section once again, and then then you can clip it to your neighbouring shelving unit. I've been descended upon by rogues and vagabonds. Anyway, there's 2 clips that will hold 2 separate units together. So these 2 bits will be joined very shortly. And there we are, the 2 clip together. Good, isn't it?
It's good.
I'm glad to be. No problems. Right, let's fill it all up.
Yeah.
So how did it turn out? Well, it turned out very well. It was very rewarding to construct, and it's doing a great job. Trouble is, I'm not doing a great job, and it's absolute blooming chaos in here. I need chaos in life to slow down so I can get in here and actually sort everything out. As for around the other side, I don't even know if I can get round there at the moment. Not quite. Look. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, a lot of sorting out to do.